Good morning. Welcome to Spy Money. We are doing a market brief publicly today. Let some of the people know what we do every morning. So if you're not part of our Discord group, this is a freebie for you. This is what we do daily. And we just go over the market, talk about what's going on, what kind of trades we might want to get in, and see how it continues from there. We're not always 100% accurate. Market has its own way of doing things, and only thing we can do is look at the charts and try to figure out how we can one up the market and win some money. So if we look at our charts and make educated guesses, usually we can get it right. And but we still fail. All of us do. So we're going to talk about ES first. That's where we always start. And if you're not part of the Discord group, you can go to Spy Money LLC, read all about it. SpyMoneyLLC.com, that is. There's information on there. We have training courses and so forth. So if you're not really sure how to trade futures or options or need a strategy or whichever, you can find all of that there. ES, last night, whenever we did our chats last night on Discord, we were talking about, and actually we did a live video, we were talking about how it could easily break through the 50 and keep on going. It actually ended up bouncing. This is a 1 hour chart. So it actually bounced. It's actually coming up a little bit. The Feds are supposed to be pumping today. So if they start pumping, then naturally this is going to continue up. And it looks like that it may get ready to start. I think usually they start around 8:30 in the morning. But, it depends. So far, I don't see any kind of pump at all here. It looks pretty normal to me. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. This could still easily sell off. We're at that 50% fib, and it's interacting with it a lot. So it actually stopped right here, come up on the bottom, stop, and then come up, come back down on it. Over here the same way. So it looks like our fib is actually working out pretty good. It's actually really accurate. And we'll just have to see, will it sustain this support level or will it drop? We'll find out later today. Let's go to NQ. NQ, I was saying last night that I felt that it would probably come down to this weekly support. It did not hit it. I don't even have fibs drawn out on this. I thought I did. Let's go to 1 hour. Let's see here. Where would our fib be on this? We could take these out. We don't need those anymore. And then let's go back to a 4 hour. Might be able to get a better one there. If we do a 4 hour and then when we start right there, actually it does have fibs. It's got the bigger ones. Let's take those out. Oops, I don't want that. Let's take those out and let's make a one off of the 4 hour down to right there, and that gets pretty close. So if we edit that, then we got 97.63, and then down here we've got 66.28.75. That makes them accurate. When they put the highs and the lows, you can pinpoint that fib down a lot easier. Get it exactly right. So now we're actually bouncing off of that 618. So we go back to the 15 minute. We can see that we are bouncing off of that fib. This makes more sense now. Busted through that one, come down to here. It may consolidate over. We do have our weekly trend line here that may or may not hit it. It looks like it actually did hit it right here and come down this retesting. If the Fed start dumping the market, as far as pumping the market, then this will actually take off and go. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. We look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour is showing that it's trying to go ahead and be bearish. But it also tried it over in this area and it ended up coming back. So we're curling here a little bit, so we'll just have to wait and see today. See where it's going to go today, and that'll give us a better idea of where we might be the rest of the week. All of the analysts and such, well, I won't say all, but the majority of the analysts, what I hear talking from different forums and Facebook groups and things like that, there's a lot of smart people out there, a lot smarter than me, and whenever I listen to them and look at their analysis and try to see why they're coming up with their conclusion And their conclusions, some of them are way over my head, some of them are right in line with where I am. Some are just like, shouldn't even be commenting. Some of the comments that you see, you can't just follow everybody, including myself. I do pretty good about charting and so forth, but the market still does what it wants. According to this right here, we're right on that fib, so we're at a point of where we don't know for sure where we're going, but it's the indication. If the Feds don't jump in, the indication's coming down. The Fed's the only thing keeping it up. NG, here's one that I had charted out, and I'm missing one. So the last time we had this big old pump, we went up and we hit the trend line and we bounced down, we come up, and then we sold off. Then we go ahead and spike back up, we hit this trend line, we come down, we come back up. So I thought that we would actually drop out right here, but it's actually consolidating a little bit, which if you look at this one, it consolidated a little bit too, but only for a day and a half. We're on the second day now, so maybe today's the day that this drops out. I bought puts right here, and it actually gapped up on me last night, so it hurt me. I'm fine on the expiration stuff. I got a month out, but I thought that it would actually just go ahead and sell off right here. So today it actually shot up, hit this support again. If you look at this, come back to right there. So we're, hitting double topping here, sold off. We come up, didn't quite touch it. What's this, last night, and then it's just kind of went up and touched again. I'm hoping that this goes ahead and sells off today. That would be really good for me. But if it doesn't, then we'll just have to play it out a little bit. If it hadn't gapped up so much and just started kind of creeping up, I would have sold off down here. But I'm too far into it now, so I'm going to have to weather this out a little bit and see what happens. By looking at the 200, I mean, the 200's in a kind of upward trend, but you had this big old drop, it went right through it. So I thought, with this being an ascending, broadening wedge, I thought we would touch it again, come down, come up, and then sell off right there. And we still may. It's not going to be exactly like any of the past ones. So I still think that I'm bearish on this until it gets to here. I think we'll hit one more touch, and at that point, we may go ahead and take off and make new highs, which would be probably coming up to the 209. But time this sells off, comes down to here, and then comes up, we may be able to, this trend line may come up to the 2175. Eventually, I think we're going to be a lot further than that. If we look at the weekly. So if you don't play NG, this is actually a really good ticker to play. It's a future, so if you're not into futures, it's hard to play. If you play the equity, DGAS and UGAS goes with it, DGAS goes against it. So if this drops, DGAS goes up. If this goes up, UGAS goes up. So those are two that you can play, and there's I believe there's options on UNG is the option for it, UNG. So if you're wanting to play options with the natural gas, UNG. So personally, I think that we're going to continue to go up, but I think it's going to have another drop, and it's just going to keep on going. Eventually, right here's where I was thinking that it would eventually go, and it still could hit that very easily. It don't have to hit there. I put this out there over a month ago, probably 2 months ago, that I thought this is where we'd be. And it very well may not be there. It may be on down. It may come on down through here. So, but that was a hypothetical guess. And so if we go back to the 1 hour, 1 hour is showing bullish on it right now. That's for now, though. This could easily just start selling off. And when NG moves, it moves fast. Just like this was 1 day from right here to right there was 1 day. So when you're looking at 1 day to go from here to there, this can easily drop in half a day. And you can see this one, when it started dropping, it was, let's see, there's 1 full day, so about 2.25 days that it had this drop right here. And I'm okay with it just continue to sell off, and if it does that, then I'll stay in the trade. I won't even have to do any more trades. Just because you're wanting to trade daily, don't mean you can't just get in a trade and just ride it out. You make more money that way. So if we go to, let's see, we did crude oil. Crude oil could easily break through this trend. It looks like it's headed for the $21 fib. So if we hit $21, and coincidentally the trend line and the $21 is at the same spot. Coincidental, huh? I think not. We've also got the 200 there. So we got the 200, the trend line, and the 21. So I think that crude oil will probably go up, hit this right here today, and when it hits it, it will bounce down. That's my thinking on it. Everything is saying that. You've got your your 200s here. You've got the trend line there that's coming off of these right here, and you've got the 618. Everything says it hits there and bounces down. Yes, it could go ahead and go through that, but I would say that it will bounce down because our market is not that great right now. So I would guess going down after today. So you might have a short call today, and then after your call, get out when it starts getting up around here, and then rethink about what you're going to do in your trade. Then so we hit all of the, so we hit gold. Gold is in this descending triangle, but I think gold will probably end up popping up to here if the market starts selling off. Typically, gold will go up. If the market goes up, typically the gold will come down. Gold has been kind of a leader in what the market is going to do. So with it selling off here and then coming up, the market's been going down. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. It's not been running the way it normally does. Normally the gold would skyrocket when ES is going down, but it's not been playing that game. It's starting to get closer to that, but I still can't base trades off of that. Looking at this, we're on this EMA here, the 20. So this could easily bounce off of that right there, or continue up. We're actually in a bullish move right here. We did have the last 4 hours has dropped. We go back to a 1 hour. You can see it pull back here in the last hour, but it could easily just turn around and come right back. I'm looking, you've got this little trend right here that, if you look at this one, it's coming down to right there. So it hit that, it could easily come back down. We got that 200 there that it hit as well. So it could be bouncing off of this 200 and just continue to come on down here. It don't have to go out here to come down. A descending triangle is a bearish move, but it could easily turn right around and come back up, and it could even go one up. But typically, it will actually sell off here. NG was in this pattern Friday, and it went up. It gapped up Sunday. So that was a perfect example of what can happen. So if you look at NG, we were looking right here was that descending triangle. If you look at it on a 1 minute, you can really, or a 5 minute, you can really see it right there. So you can see here's the base, and here was going down. That's why I got in puts, because I thought that it would actually keep on dropping, and I thought it would gap down Sunday, but instead it gapped up and hurt me. So we'll just hopefully this will actually start selling off, and I can make some money on it. So gold is doing the same thing, just in a larger format. We're on the 5 minute, we're under this 200. We could easily go ahead and start coming back down to the trend and see what happens there. Let's go to Walmart. If we look at Walmart on a 1 hour, Walmart has just been selling off hard. I made some money on Walmart last week, so I was happy about that. I had some puts, long puts. They were, I was up $150 right on through here. And I didn't sell them because I thought this was going to drop out, and they ended up holding them. And I sold them. I sold them right here for a little bit of a loss. Now you would think I'm up 150 there. I sell them for a little bit of loss here, and that's because your expiration. And then I had some others in another account, and I forgot about it, and I ended up making around $100 on it. So really, I ended up making just a tad bit of money with this loss and that other one, but I'm cashed out, so I'm fine with it. Where's Walmart going now? I thought we would actually come down and touch the 119.56 fib. We did not touch it. That is a good support. I would say today we will probably sell off and hit this. We may go lower, but I'm looking at the 119.50 area. And it'll probably go a little bit lower than that. Even if it goes there, probably sell a little bit lower and then it will rally. So at the end of the day, when this comes down, I will be watching to possibly get in calls to where it will go overnight. So I may swing trade that one, but we'll just have to wait. I'm not saying to do that, but that's what I'm thinking. And if we come up, we hit USO, we actually hit that reverse split. So instead of being $2, now it's, we're trading at $18 now. So it actually hit the reverse split. Crude oil is, we already went over that, but crude oil looks like it's going to pop today and then come down. That would go in line with what we're looking at here. We've got our 200 coming down, so we're probably going to pop up, hit that, and then probably sell off. I don't see crude oil actually making a comeback yet. Uber is selling off. I'm glad I got out of that. They faked us out. Everything was saying that Uber was good, and then all of a sudden it turns and starts coming down. It's following the market. If you watch ES, you're going to see pretty much what every stock is doing within, real close. If you just watch ES, which is the S&P 500 mini future. Tesla, there's the thing I put in our Discord, is Elon Musk, genius or simpleton? Which is it? They are two words that run together so close that you are so much of a freaking genius that sometimes you're a simpleton. And a simpleton is kind of what I'm thinking, because here he is, he's up here, he's got the, his stock's going up, and then he puts out a tweet that his Tesla stock is too much money. So it just sells off. So all these people that were buying over in here are now bag holding over here because, they're lost so much money. I saw in a bunch of forums that people were buying in the 850 range, which was right on through here, and then they didn't sell it. And then overnight, the thing just drops out, and now they're, still holding down here. So at 850, and now you're down to close to 700. That's $150 a share. One guy bought 50 shares of it. He's down, what was that? $6,500 on that he's down because he believed in Tesla, but he believed in it more than Elon did. So Elon is turning into somewhat of a simpleton sometimes. I read on there that if the stock kept on going, then he was going to have to take $750,000 out of the company or something to do with the way his shares are set up or whatever. I don't remember what the exact part, but he was going to have to take $750,000. He didn't want the money, so he tweeted that it's too high. So then it drops, and I don't understand that logic. I guess I'm not a big businessman, so I'll never understand that. But he didn't want money, so he made the stock go down with the tweet. Now, in my opinion, I think the SEC will investigate, and he'll get in trouble over that, because as a CEO of a company, you cannot tweet things like that and make your stock do what you want. It's against the law, against the SEC rules, that is, not the law, but SEC. TLT looks like it's going to be coming back down to this channel, the 163 area. So it's actually in a gradual move here. Usually when ES goes up, bonds will go up. Or when ES goes up, bonds will drop, and vice versa. They're in inverses of each other. But they're not really running that way. ES has been selling off for the last week, and here it is, TLT's been selling off too. So I don't really understand that part, but so we'll just have to play it out. I'd love to see this just drop out and go into the 140s. That's where I'd like to see it. I've got puts on this. SPY, we went over with ES. It actually hit the 50% fib, and it's trying to curl. We'll just have to wait and see what happens today. If the Fed's pump, it's going up. Go to Roku. Looks like it's still selling off. I was calling back in here that I thought was going to continue to sell off. It actually pulled up a little bit and just went on. This may consolidate a little bit right here, but this is not a great fib. I would say that we're probably coming back down to the 101 area. We may see that today. It could easily sell off that much today. That's only 11% from here to here. So once we get there, I'd say that we'll probably end up revisiting the 84.92. If the market continues to sell off, then this will continue to sell off. NVIDIA, same thing. It actually broke through this trend. It was actually in a ascending triangle. So it should have bounced right here and went up, but the market is not moving according to plan. So with it not doing that, and it dropped out Friday and then sold off again today, as far as last night with the gap down of the ES. So this one I'm bearish on. It may come out today, but everything here, we're under the 200, we're under the trend line. Everything says bearish to me. Netflix is like a ping pong game. It's going right here, up and down. It's never getting too high, and it's never getting below the table. It is actually staying there. One guy actually missed, and it bounced here, but they brought it back up and started playing again. So we're in a ping pong match. This is just going back and forth, going sideways, eating up everyone's premiums, and so it's just killing everybody. As soon as everybody's options expire, this will take off probably. NCLH, it's a Norwegian cruise line. All the cruise lines are actually dropping. This was just a one big old pump and dump. This was what I call a bull trap. They run it up, and then all of a sudden everybody's holding up here, still buying, and then they drop it out. And when they dropped it out, everybody's bag holding now. So when you see something extended like this, that is what I call a skyscraper. No one wants to be in a skyscraper alone. Because up here is everybody jumping out and dying. This is what's happening. This is like a bloodbath, and that is what's happening to the people left in the skyscraper. They are bag holding, and they will continue to bag hold for a very long time. If they were buying in here at the 17 range, now they're down to the $13 range. So that's a big difference in price. So cruise lines, I got out of it. I took my money, moved on. I could have sold on this little spike here and made more money, but I'm happy with what I did. I really just don't want to play in that one. I mainly play in the futures anyway. The futures is, in my opinion, where the money is. If you're not familiar with how to do futures, on our website, SpyMoneyLLC.com, we have training courses on there. Very reasonable. They don't cost a lot of money. I made them cheap for a reason, and they're very good. They'll help you understand what futures is and how to trade them. For a few $100, you can really change your life. You can actually make more than that in the first trade after you learn how to do it. So that's why I do the futures. All these equities, you can make money on there, but if you try to swing trade them, the market is way too volatile to swing trade because there's no rhyme or reason what happens. Microsoft looks like it's going to come down, but if you look at it, every time it's dropped below this 200, it's bounced back. So today, I'm kind of thinking Microsoft may take back off, but we also have the 200s curling over. So with that 200 curling over, we're at our trend line up here. We've actually tried it twice to get through and couldn't do it. There's a good chance that Microsoft may sell off here. Probably come down to the 168, the 618 fib. If we sell off, we'll probably bounce here, and it might try again. I think this is our main target, our 618. You can see here, it's interacted there, here. It almost did there, which it don't have to be on the line, just close. But I'd say this will probably end up coming back down to here and then trying it again. If it can get over this trend line and keep on going, then Microsoft should do very well. But I have a feeling Microsoft's going to have some bad news coming out just any day now, within the next week or so. I just don't think they're going to allow Microsoft to continue to grow. We have Kohl's. Kohl's should have been at $5 right now. It should not be up here. The store hadn't been open pretty much all year, and their stock prices are going up. So you tell me. It's actually following the market. If the market sells off, this is going to continue to go. Intel, I think, is in trouble because they are no longer making the processors for Apple. Apple's going to make their own. So long term, I think that Intel's going to have some growing pains. It is running a 618. It could very easily pop out of this today. I'm just thinking, Intel is probably going to continue to sell off. Google's been doing very well. It's been up and down and stuff, but we got our trend line. It actually broke out of this ascending triangle. It broke out, went up here, and now it's kind of holding. We could easily come back down and test this 1272 again. We've got that 200 right here that is running right with that trend. So, if we extended this trend line up to, actually, I guess really the trend line ought to be moved down. Let's see if we go back from there to here. See if we brought that. No, it wouldn't be there. Probably wrong through here. That'd pick up this one and these right here. So that would be more in line with where I would say the trend line should be right now. So with it being there, this could easily come right down, sell off to right over in here, and then come on up. This is not really a ascending triangle there because we've only had one touch up there, but it's a trend line that would keep on pushing it up. So I would say Google will probably come down to around the 1272 area, and when it gets there, then it will probably pop back up, and it will probably be like a spike like this. So how this spiked through the 200, just dropped real quick and then come right back up, I think that's what will happen here. So this could easily happen today. It could be tomorrow. That's an awful big drop right here, but from 1310 down to 1240, so that's 80-point drop. I mean, 80 points is not that much. I think it's 80, 50, no, 60 points. 60 points is not that much for a $1,300 stock, but I'd say probably just a gradual sell-off and then probably gap down overnight, hit this, and then probably bounce out. That would be my guess. Disney is actually stayed in this channel here for a while. We can take these out. These are no longer used. It's staying in this channel. We'll see what it does today. I would say it'll probably go ahead and drop one down below that. If once we break this channel and keep on going, then I think that, let's see, if I bring this one on down to, actually I could bring it down to here, because that would make up for there. On this one, these right through here. So this is more of the channel now. And if we bring this on over so we can make it longer. There we go. So now I'd say we'll probably come down and test this again around the $100 point, 98 to $100. And at that point, if we continue up, great. But see, we're coming to earnings. So this will probably sell off right through to earnings. And it depends on what earnings does. I can't imagine their earnings being that great because they shut down 2 amusement parks. So we'll just have to wait and see. Bind is coming on down. I think Bind was just a pump and dump. It'll probably come back down to this right here. We've got a lot of information here. This I'm going to leave that one there because that was a top trend line. So Bind, there's so much going on here. You got earnings coming up. I think their earnings are probably going to be good, but the problem is everybody thinks their earnings is going to be good. So with that being said, it will probably drop. It usually does the opposite of what people think. BA is a sore thumb to me. It just continues to drop. They're looking for a bailout, so in my opinion, this will continue to sell off until they get the bailout. When they get the bailout, then this will take off. So that's my opinion on there. Amazon actually broke through the trend, so it's now in the sell-off. So Amazon, I would say probably bearish for a while. Got AMD coming on down. AMD is, in my opinion, should have been doing pretty good because all the computer sales and everything. So their company should have been doing better than what it is. They missed their earnings. The earnings was actually not bad. It's just the analysts wanted it to come down. So this is coming down. The last time it did this, it was stayed down for about a week and then it started taking off. So there's a good chance that we'll probably see this 50% fib and then start going back up. That's what I would guess. You have Apple. Apple has been on a continual, very slow upward trend. And we dropped out of this channel up here, but I think Apple long run, I think it's going to be pretty good. So, yeah, I think long calls on that would probably be good. The only thing that concerns me is you got this 200 starting to curl over, and with that curling over, that tells me that there's possibly a good drop coming. This could easily start going right back up though. So that 200 day tells me that we've got some bad news coming. So I don't do anything long right now. The market just does not show me any long-term trends. So we need to get rid of these. Don't need those. We do have a support here. We gapped right through and they just kept on going. So with American Airlines, with all the news that come out this weekend, with Warren Buffett selling off all the airline shares and stuff, and that really hurt it right here. That's why it gapped down so much. Everybody was selling. This gap is probably him where he sold it actually. And so with airlines, I've been saying for a while, airlines are going to crash and burn. American Airlines, I wish that they just go completely out of business and someone else buy them that actually knew how to run an airline, so we don't get the delays and such. They are never on time. Their stock, I just don't understand that company. I'm just very negative on American Airlines. Some of the other airlines are pretty good, but this one's horrible. And we go back to ES, look at it again before I get off here. This is my last one. If we look at the 5-minute chart, still no pump in here. It is crossing right here, so I mean that's a sign that we're probably going to be bullish on it. So, but I don't see any major moves here. We did get some right here. It's kind of gonna, but it's real choppy. I mean, this is a 5 minutes. If we look at a 1 minute, I mean, that's just nothing but chop. It's hard to trade future contracts in there. If you come down here, if you hopped in, there's 27.98 all the way up to, so there's like 8 point spike in one candle. That is hard to trade. When you get a candle like this, if you were short here, you would have got stopped out there. And then this candle will probably come right back down and be down here. So these are hard to trade in contracts. If you're trading future contracts, you may want to think about NG. Look at NG, making me look really bad right here. But NG is actually a good one that you could get in and do future contracts on. It's really good for options as well if you play it the right way. I played it wrong. I'm in puts here, so we'll see what happens with it. So I'm down, but I'm not down significant amount of money. We'll just see what happens here. Hopefully this will go ahead and play out and touch here again, get a double top, and then just sell off hard. That's what my plan is. So that's where we are today. Hope you, the people that's not in our group, hope you understand what we do, how we talk things through. This helps us trade through the day to kind of know where the market's going, get some different insight. Also in the Discord group, we have people that don't agree with what I say on this, and that's great because I want to hear different opinions on why they believe that. So we talk things through, figure out different ways. Someone's right. One of us is. We just got to figure out which one is going to be right. And so the Discord group is actually pretty good for call outs and stuff. As we trade, we call those out. And as far as the futures, that's mainly what I get into. I think it's more safe, and I can trade it 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. So it actually works out good for me. I still buy equity options, just not a lot. Our group, I think the majority of our group is buying more equity options than they are futures. But everybody's doing a little bit of everything. I think it's pretty good. So if you're not part of it, go to SpyMoneyLSC.com. You can read more about it and figure out how to get signed up. And for our Discord members, I will see you guys in the chat here soon. And I'm going to take me a little break, and then we'll get started. We got about 12 minutes before the bell for all the people in the equities. And we'll see what everybody does, and hopefully everybody makes money. I will talk to y'all later. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you in the chat.